Hello and welcome back. I'm John Hall with your 5 p.m. magazine show. All indoor sports have been reopened since the 25th of July, so that will please badminton fans. There are now rules in place when playing the sport following the venue's guidance to maintain social distancing. And with team trials coming up, we took a deeper look into how Solent University plan to cope with this season. Here is what we found out.
Yeah, I got this one, that one, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know.
Sport hasn't been easy in the age of coronavirus, but there is one that seems to have slipped through the net. Badminton. Men's and women's trials began this week with many first years hoping to make their respective squads, and it all appeared rather normal. Unusual given the current state of affairs. Men's captain Jefford Michael, through the wonders of Zoom, said that he is lucky that badminton is in the position that it is.
I think we're quite fortunate, actually. As far as things stand for right now, we're one of the very few sports that can pretty much operate as normal. Even if you're playing doubles, you tend to be around a metre away from your teammate, and obviously the people on the other side of the net are 3, 4, 5 metres away.
Michael's doubles partner Ryan McKenny believes that whilst there shouldn't be any problems during play, staying safe could be an issue after the match.
Yeah, obviously you're handing over the shuttles. There's always that urge to high five or try and the encouragement that we usually do. The physical contact you can't do anymore. It's quite hard to stop at the end of the game as well. Thanking your opponent for playing, usually go with a handshake, so it's a bit more of an awkward look across the net and shout at them.
Whilst it may seem like badminton is impervious to COVID restrictions, being an indoor sport, it is assumed it poses a greater risk to players. To combat this, the university have imposed guidelines and protective measures to ensure the risk to all participants is as low as possible.
The main things are a kind of head cap on how many people are around in the sports all at once. At the moment, I think it's 20 people you can have. And there's also a bubble system in place, so 6 people per court, and that's your court that you can use for that day. You can't mingle too much.
There has, however, been one major change to Solent badminton this year, and that is that Bucks have decided to scrap promotion and relegation. Competing in what are effectively friendlies week in, week out could demotivate players, but women's captain Louise Williams believes there is a silver lining.
We're seeing this as more of a good thing than a bad thing. It's given us the opportunity to really improve our team as a whole. So if anything, this will put us in a better place than we were previously for the next year coming.
With lockdown taking a toll mentally on people up and down the country, it is refreshing to see that the most popular racket sports in the UK can still be played in sports halls throughout the land. Wes Spearman, Solent Sports Complex, Spectrum Sports.
Jack Dudley, an architect and strongman competitor, has created a training program in the form of a PDF to make exercise much more accessible in these challenging times. Dudley trained from home during lockdown using ties and ladders, and as a second lockdown awaits, the program is perfectly designed for both gym and home workouts. Many athletes have bought Dudley's program and they haven't been disappointed so far.
In a time when jobs are hard to come by and you need a little side hustle to keep you going, why not mix your passion with your work? Strongman and architect Jack Dudley has done just that.
I saw that some of my friends were coming up with really cool ways to make a little bit of side money. I've got some friends that are graphic designers and things, and they're doing portraits and all that kind of stuff. I was like, what can I do?
Throughout lockdown, Dudley trained remotely using tyres, ladders and any other equipment that was available to him. Now gyms are back open, Dudley has made a programme for people to take with them.
And so I came up with this idea where I'd make a PDF of a training program that people could follow. Basically, I just send it to them through email and they just have it on their phone ready to look at whenever they're ready for it. It's suitable for, obviously people that want to go to the gym, but it's suitable for people that are just starting, people that are in competitions and anywhere in between, really.
One of the first athletes to buy the programme was Jordan Waterman, and he hasn't been disappointed so far.
Okay, so I bought the programme initially to get stronger. Also wanted to get bigger than I ever have. I definitely enjoy it because it really does push me to the limit. I feel like I have to work hard to to get the progress I want, and I really enjoy that.
The programme Waterman is following has different workouts to target specific body areas, including your legs, shoulders and back. We asked personal trainer Jessica Langley to look through Dudley's programme and give her sporting opinion.
I think it could be helpful, especially for showing people how to use equipment. People have got used to not going to the gym.
Dudley's happy with his feedback so far, but he isn't stopping there on his quest to make more money.
If you're someone that wants to train with no equipment, then you have to stay tuned until I write a new programme specifically for you.
After the government updated its guidance on recreational team sports, fans will be allowed to attend football matches in the 7th tier. Fans must abide by the social distance measures and groups must be restricted to no more than 6. Our correspondent Luke Robinson is at Solent FC. Luke, it's a feel-good story, isn't it?
It is, Jordan. It is a real underdog story, and I think it just shows the power of social media, Twitter, for such a small, local, non-league club to make an impact on the national level, to dictate what happens in stadiums all across the country. I think it's a real underdog story.
About soul, and I've seen games on TV, and it just completely lacks it. It's vitally important that we get fans back in, because really football's about passion, it's about soul, and I've seen games on TV, and it just completely lacks it. So it's not quite the same. Football will never be the same, I don't think, for a while. But I think to get the fans back in is a must.
That was Solent FC manager Dave Diper, who witnessed his club supporters enter the McCoy Stadium for the first time in 6 months. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact non-league football, with teams losing out on gate receipts ever since games were put behind closed doors in late March. But it seems fans are slowly making their return.
We've had a couple of FA Cup games, and it's a massive difference because every club depends on secondary spending. People in the bar, etc. And not only that, it gives the community to something to focus on at the moment, because obviously there's a great deal talked about mental health as well, and that's a big issue in football particularly. But the community have been crying out for football for 6 months now, and I think we need to sort of continue on the path which we're going.
A path that was opened by a successful social media plea by the boatmen, who didn't want to join clubs like Ryle, who succumbed to the financial pressures of coronavirus. Though it's not just lower league clubs suffering, with the SBN reporting that the top 5 leagues in world football were estimated to lose around $4 billion in revenue. But when it comes to safety, the Solent boss confirmed that every precaution is in place and that they are taking this pandemic incredibly seriously.
Hand sanitizers, there's social distancing rules. Obviously face masks have got to be introduced and worn into the clubhouse. To be honest with you, I mean, at the moment, it's my job as manager is like, at the moment, it's like 65% COVID and the rest football, unfortunately. But what I would say is we lost somebody to COVID-19. It was dear to the club, member of the committee, and it's something which everybody really needs to take serious.
Solent's fans can now rejoice and support their team week in and week out, but with cases worsening and restrictions increasing, non-league will not be able to survive any more losses. Luke Robinson, Solent Sport News.
As we just saw there, Solent are at the forefront of the Get Fans Back into Grounds movement. Luke, how exactly are they doing this?
Well, they actually utilised Twitter and used the hashtag #LetFansIn along with a rather snazzy GIF to go along with it, and essentially recruited all the local clubs around the area at first, but then it spread nationwide. All the clubs that would have benefited by having fans in the ground, and soon it spread to fans, it spread to non-league fans, to Premier League fans, it spread everywhere and really touched everyone, and that's how it had the impact it did.
And now they have their wish to get fans back into the grounds. What impact will that have on the club?
Well, it's going to have an absolutely massive impact on revenue especially. Solent, they have costs, for instance, running the pitch. Solent, during the off-season and when they're not playing, they have costs. They have maintenance costs, for instance, running the pitch, the floodlights, the ground in general. And when they aren't playing, they don't have any income. They don't have any fans paying their tickets, paying for food and drink. And so having fans back in the stadium is really going to benefit them.
Apologies for the technical issues we've been having today. That'll be all. Please make sure to tune in next week. I've been Jordan Hall, and that was your live magazine show.